All right, I'm admitting up front because I'm always honest with you that, as I mentioned before, that Wall Street only had screenings this week at 11 o'clock in the morning, which I can't do because I'm here. Or they had one in the evening, which was the night that I had to do a command appearance for the station. So I have not seen it. I will see it over the weekend, and as soon as it's out, and review it for you on Monday. As you're undoubtedly aware, it's called Wall Street 2, and Michael Douglas reprises his Gordon Gekko role, and with Sheila Buff in it. I'll tell you all about it on Monday, all right? So you're on your own on this. My guess is it will be the big movie of the week for the simple reason, well, for a number of reasons. First of all, it has huge name recognition, number one. Number two, Michael Douglas has gotten a lot of press for exactly the wrong reason because he has cancer right now. Oliver Stone is always a controversial director, and him getting a chance to reprise his role. Sheila LaBeouf is a popular young actor, and Carey Mulligan won an Oscar last year, so it's got a lot of pedigree to it. Josh Brolin is also in it, as is Charlie Sheen. More spotlight folks. They may all be running for office before we know it. So I'll review it for you next week. As I said, it will probably be the number one movie of the week. Okay, regardless, I think it is relatively critic-proof temporarily, at least. All right, let me tell you the movies that I did see. Legend of the Guardians, The Owls of Ga'Hoole, is Universal's foray into animation in 3D. And there's one scene in this movie that blew my socks off. Let me see if I can tell you the story, because the story is incredibly complicated. Incredibly complicated stories I don't think work very well in animation, to be quite honest. I'm not sure they work very well in movies in general, unless they unfold in kind of a linear fashion. And then, like, for The Secret in Their Eyes was that kind of movie that seemed very simple and then got very complicated, but you got sort of taken along with it, as opposed to just throwing things at you that you didn't quite understand. This is based on the book, and the idea is we have Soren, who is a young owl who is absolutely mesmerized by his daddy's tales of epic battles with the Guardians of Ga'Hoole, who are, I'm quoting, a mythic band of winged warriors who fought a great battle to save all of owl kind from the evil Pure Ones. Okay, now, you see the complication here. First of all, we're talking about owls, and I went to a school whose mascot was the owl, so I like owls, the symbol of intelligence and scholarship. Hard to tell apart in animation. I can't tell the good owls from the bad owls, number one. Number two, how much investment do we actually have in owls? Babe was a pig. Owls, I don't know. Number three, when the evil ones are called pure ones, it's kind of confusing. And this is a movie, presumably, more or less, for kids. Now, I know animation has been the big movie thing, and 3D animation has been the big box office success. Toy Story, for example. Okay? So, but this one's not going to be. And it's a shame. There is one scene of Soren soaring, during a rainstorm that's got stop action that was absolutely breathtaking. But I couldn't tell the good owls from the bad owls, and it's scary for kids. You cannot take a 5-year-old to this movie. Please don't even think about it. And it's not even the 3D. It's that they're sort of ripping each other up with beaks and talons and claws. This is a scary movie. So I don't know. Listen, I wish everybody, whoever makes a movie, to do well. But this one kind of left me unhappy, let's say. So I don't, and I've talked with some other people about it. You may like it, and the animation this is not a movie that's going to make a lot of money, I don't think. And it costs a lot of money to make. Okay, let me tell you about two other movies, both of which are kind of small movies. One is Howl. Now, James Franco is the flavor of the week these days. He's in everything, and he's a terrific actor. And he plays Allen Ginsberg, the poet, right? Who in 1956, I didn't know that Allen Ginsberg was actually born in Newark, but he was. And he kicked off a obscenity trial, and I think it was in 1956, because they published 1957. They published his poem Howl, and he was not actually sued. The publisher was actually sued for obscenity. And so you've got James Franco in black and white playing Allen Ginsberg. We've also got some really good actors in this. David Strathairn and John Hamm plays the defense attorney. Bob Balaban plays the judge. Treat Williams is in it. Mary Louise Parker has a cameo. Jeff Daniels has got a cameo. So some pretty high-powered Hollywood stars in what is basically sort of an indie movie. The problem, to be quite honest, Allen Ginsberg reads his own poetry at the end, and he's mesmerizing. James Franco, not so much. And it's basically a long tonal poem. I mean, the whole movie is James Franco either reading on camera or voicing the voiceover, reading Howl, which you can see why it caused such fuss. And it's got some animation in it, and it's got obviously some big movie stars. So this is going to be kind of an indie darling, which will probably make 23 cents. Okay. So, but if you're interested in poetry and you're interested in Allen Ginsberg or James Franco, this is your movie. All right, the movie that I'd love for you to see, and I only send you to movies occasionally. The rest of them, whatever you want to see. I've been talking about this for about 2 weeks, and we're trying very hard to get a couple of the principals involved on the program. We're trying to get them to come here. It's called Waiting for Superman. And it does something the documentaries are really terrific at doing these days, which is pointing out a problem in a very visceral, emotional, yet entertaining way. I mean, I think documentaries have really taken over from where indies used to be, of low budget, important topics that really try to mobilize people. This one is about education. And I mean, I think that there have been in the last year probably half a dozen really good documentaries about education, several of them focusing specifically on magnet or charter schools where there's a lottery, because people so much want their kids to go there that there aren't enough openings, and they have a lottery, and you get to meet some of the parents and some of the kids who are putting their name in for the lottery. And it's heartbreaking because most of them are not going to win, and you don't know who's going to win, and then you get all elated because somebody won. And this is kind of an intellectual Rocky. What they have is they interview a huge number of people, some of whom are true American heroes, and those are some of the people we're going to try and get on the program, including Gregory Canada. What kind of great name is that? Michelle Rhee, who was the chancellor of Washington, D.C.'s school system, which has probably the worst school system in the country, and what she tried to do and how she was upended. Randy Weingarten, who is being portrayed in the last 3 movies I've seen as kind of the evil witch of the West, or the East, I suppose, more appropriately. And so what it talks about is, first of all, the problem with American schools. And there's no doubt, I don't think from every politician and every president, every educator thinks that there's a problem in the school system, so nothing new. And the problem about a documentary that says serious problem, is by the end of it you just want to set your face on fire. You think, oh, how can I be alive when this problem... This one does something most documentaries don't. It says, here's the problem, here's the solution. Because the notion has always been, and I subscribe to it as much as everybody else. In fact, I got asked a question this weekend of, okay, clearly when non-white kids, non-suburban middle-class kids take standardized tests, whether it's IQ or any other exam, they do badly, and clearly the tests are not responsive to them. So you have to change the test. This movie says, bunk. Just educate them. And it shows you how to do it, specifically, and why it's not being done. And it's a terrific movie. It's called Waiting for Superman. The idea is that Gregory Canada at the beginning is saying, or Jeffrey Canada at the beginning is saying, when I was a kid, I just thought all I had to do was wait for Superman and he would come and save me. And now he's saying, not going to happen, we have to save ourselves, and this is the way to do it. So please, if you've got a kid, if you're interested in the school system, go find Waiting for Superman. You can see Wall Street when you want. You can go see Howl if you like Allen Ginsberg. You can go see The Guardians, the Owls of Gilhooly. But make sure you see Waiting for Superman, will you? More details at drjoyreviews.com. 800-544-7070. When we come back, a little bit more about what you're saying to me on Facebook. You can also email me at contact us at drjoy.com, and your calls at 800-544-7070. I'm Dr. Joy Brown.